Education system in the USA. Education in the United States is provided mainly by the government, with control and funding coming from the three levels: federal, state, and local. The federal government provides research and support to ensure equal access and excellence in education, along with funding student loan programs and assistance to lower-income students. Nevertheless, responsibility for education remains primarily a state and a local enterprise. According to the U.S. Department of Education, about 90% of the annual expenditure for education at all levels comes from state, local, and private sources. State boards of education, along with state superintendent or commissioner, oversee local education districts, set student and teacher standards, approve the classroom curriculum, and often review textbook selection. The local boards of education, most of which are elected, administer the nation's nearly 15,500 school districts, ranging from small rural schools in states like Kansas and Nebraska to the New York City system, which educates more than 1 million children annually. They are responsible for school curricula, funding, teaching, and other policies. The American education system requires that students complete 12 years of primary and secondary education prior to attending university or college. The U.S. educational system today comprises almost 96,000 public elementary and secondary schools, plus more than 4,200 institutions of higher learning, ranging from small 2-year community colleges to massive state universities with undergraduate and graduate programs in excess of 30,000 students. Preschool in the USA. Preschool is a place where children begin their learning process by way of play and fun. Kindergarten is the place where tender minds open up to absorb whatever is fed to them, which in turn makes the teachers play a vital role in shaping and molding these young minds. Preschools, kindergarten, and elementary school teachers have a task of introducing children to various subjects like mathematics, language, science, and social studies through use of games, music, artwork. What a child learns during their early years is going to remain with him throughout and also becomes a deciding factor in their outlook towards life. Compulsory schooling in the USA. The ages for compulsory education vary by state, beginning at ages 5 to 8 and ending at the ages of 14 to 18. A growing number of states are now requiring school attendance until the age of 18. Compulsory education requirements can generally be satisfied by attending public schools, state-certified private schools, or an approved homeschool program. In most public and private schools, education is divided into 3 levels: elementary school, junior high school, and senior high school. The U.S., the first year of compulsory schooling begins with the children at the age of 5 or 6. Children are then placed in year groups known as grades, beginning with first grade and culminating in 12th grade. The U.S. uses ordinal numbers for naming grades, like Canada and Australia, where cardinal numbers are preferred. Thus, Americans are more likely to say first grade rather than grade 1. The school year usually runs from early September until May or June and is divided into quarters or terms, semesters. Some schools use a quarter system which comprises 3 sessions: fall, September to December, winter, January to March, and spring, March to May or June. Others use a semester system made up 2 sessions: fall, September to December, and spring, January to May. School vacation dates are published by schools well in advance, thus allowing parents plenty of time to schedule family holidays during official school holiday periods. Normally, parents aren't permitted to withdraw children from classes except for visits to a doctor or dentist when the teacher should be informed in advance whenever possible. If one wishes to take a child out of school during classes, one must obtain permission from the principal. This is rarely given. It's particularly unwise to take a child out of school when he or she should be taking examination or during important coursework assignments. Elementary school. Elementary school is a school of kindergarten through fifth grades where basic subjects are taught. Elementary school provides and often remains in one or two classrooms throughout the school day, with the exception of physical education, library, music, and art classes. Typically, the curriculum within public elementary education is determined by individual school districts. The school district selects curriculum guides and textbooks that are reflective of arithmetic and sometimes rudimentary algebra in mathematics, English proficiency, and the fundamentals of other subjects. Junior and senior high school. Junior high school is any school intermediate between elementary school and the senior high school. It usually includes 7th and 8th grades and sometimes 6th or 9th grade. In some locations, junior high school includes 9th grade only, allowing students to adjust to a high school environment. Middle school is often used instead of junior high school when demographic factors increase the number of young students. At this time, students are given more independence as choosing their own classes. Usually starting in 9th grade, grades become part of a student's official transcript. Future employers or colleges may want to see steady improvement in grades and a good attendance record on the official transcript. Therefore, students are encouraged to take much more responsibility for their education. Senior high school is a school attended after junior high school. High school is often used instead of senior high school and distinguished from junior high school. Generally, at the high school level, students take a broad variety of classes without special emphasis in any particular subject. Curricula vary widely in quality and rigidity. For example, some states consider 70 to be passing grade, while others consider it to be as low as 60 or as high as 75. The following are offered at some schools in the United States. Science, usually 2 years minimum, normally biology, chemistry, and physics. Mathematics, usually 2 years minimum, normally including algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calculus trigonometry. English, usually 4 years minimum, including literature, humanities. Social science, usually 3 years minimum, including various history, government, economics courses. Physical education, at least 1 year. Many states require a health course in which students learn about anatomy, nutrition, first aid, sexuality, and birth control. Anti-drug use programs are also usually part of health course. In many cases, however, options are provided for students to test out or perform independent study in order to complete this requirement. Foreign language and some form of an education are also a mandatory part of curriculum in some schools. Educational standards in the U.S. High schools maintain a school transcript for each student summarizing the course taken, the grade attained, and the other relevant data. If a student wishes to go on college or university, his or her high school submits copies of his transcript to the college. College or university acceptance is also based upon personal recommendations from teachers, achievements outside school, extracurricular and sport achievements, and the college aptitude tests. Types of schools in the USA. Public schools are required to provide an education free for charge to everyone of school age in their districts. Admissions to individual public schools is usually based on residency. To compensate for differences in school quality based on geography, school systems serving large cities and the portions of large cities often have magnet schools that provide enrollment to a specified number of non-resident students in addition to serving all students here. Private schools in the United States include parochial schools, non-profit independent schools, and for-profit private schools. Private schools charge varying rates depending on geographic location, the school's expenses, and the ability of funding from sources other than tuition. For example, some churches partially subsidize private schools for their members. Homeschooling. Parents select moral or religious reasons for homeschooling their children. Most homeschooling advocates are wary of the established educational institutions for various reasons. Some are religious conservatives who see non-religious education as contrary to their moral or religious system. Others feel that they can more effectively tailor a curriculum to suit an individual student's academic strengths and weaknesses, especially those with singular needs or disabilities. Still, others feel that the negative social pressure of schools are determinant to a child's proper development. Parents often form groups to help each other in their homeschooling process and may even assign classes to different parents similar to public and private schools. Types of USA colleges and university. The Ivy League universities. The Ivy League is a specific group of 8 academic institutions. These schools are Brown, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth, Harvard University of Pennsylvania, Princeton, and Yale. The league was formed in the 1940s by the presidents of the 8 schools to foster intercollegiate football competition in such a way as to maintain the value of the game, while keeping it in fitting proportion to the main purposes of academic life. The characteristics of Ivy League schools include relatively small undergraduate populations, large endowments, prestigious academic reputations, and a consistent ranking among the top 15 U.S. universities with the highest tuition fees in the country. So today we have covered the lecture education system in the USA, and here we have discussed the education system of United States, compulsory schooling, preschool in the US, junior and the senior high school, educational standards in the USA, and also the USA universities. Thank you for your attention.